Hello everybody and welcome to the Fibre Nerd podcast. My name is Allison Barnes and I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada with my husband, my son, and my 3 cats, Wicket, Cricket, and Kennedy. This is a knitting and hand dyeing yarn podcast with a little bit of crochet, sewing, other kinds of crafting thrown in there once in a while. Thanks for coming back if you're a returning viewer, and if you are new to my video podcast, thanks for checking me out. I hope you like what you see and you give me a subscribe and a thumbs up, and feel free to leave your comments and questions below. I love reading them. So I am drinking some coffee out of my Salty Sea Dogs mug. It's a chickadee. I love birds, especially chickadees. And well, I guess it has been a very interesting week for me. Last week I did some dyeing. I dyed up the Fibre Fix subscription box, which is our monthly yarn subscription. The colors are exclusive to the club for 6 months, and I'm going to show what the April color is to you guys in a little while. So I will let you know ahead of time before I spoil it for you, just in case you are one of my subscribers and don't want to see the color before you get your box in the mail. So aside from dyeing club yarn this week, I did a custom order for a client, and I didn't do as much knitting as I normally do. I've been reading a book and getting really near the end of the book, and I just wanted to keep reading and get that finished, because I have 2 more books on my nightstand that I really want to dive into. And maybe I'll share those on another episode. Yeah, lately I've been interested in learning more about just people in general. Not really psychology, but more to do with why people are the way they are, the decisions that they make, how they live their lives. I'm just interested in people in general. I'm a people watcher. I like kind of being the wallflower, and I'm just seeing the things that go on around me. I love watching documentaries about people. I like reading biographies and autobiographies, though I don't read them very often. I generally read fiction, but the biographies that I have read, I've really enjoyed. It doesn't seem to matter who it's about. If I find it interesting, then I like to read about it. Sorry if there's any noises in the background. Let's start off by telling you about my Ravelry group. It's called Allison Barnes Yarnies, and we have a knit-along going on right now for the Sun Shower Shawl, which is by Ines Sang, and it is a 2-skein fingering weight crescent-shaped shawl, and it's quite beautiful. I've shown it before on the podcast, and I guess I'll start by showing you the progress on mine, which isn't very much more than what I had last week, but I will show you. It is in my own handmade project bag, which was a couple years old, and I am just starting the last repeat of the first part of the Sun Shower Shawl, and I apologize for the lighting. It's quite bright outside today, so I tried turning off the lights in the studio. So yes, I have one more repeat to do before I get to start color 2, and so I'm just plugging along a little bit every day or every other day when I can find a few minutes to do a couple of rows at a time. The yarn for color 1 is by Sea Turtle Fiber Arts on their Ridley sock base, and it's very pretty and very squishy. And color 2 will be coming soon. It is by Poppy Yarn and Fiber, and it's called Fanciful, and it is a sparkling sock base. And I'm thinking that this may be a gift knit. I love the colors a lot. I don't wear a lot of crescent shaped shawls. I prefer triangular or asymmetrical triangular shaped shawls, but I have a recipient in mind for this one, somebody who likes the color purple. So yeah, this episode's probably going to be a lot shorter than normal just because I didn't really do a whole lot of knitting this week. How about we switch to crochet for a second? I did put some more rows on my crochet granny stripe blanket, and this is what it looks like so far. I guess the bottom is at the bottom, and the last row, I'm just in the middle of this row here. I'm using up scraps, so I just go until I run out of a color, unless I have like more than one row. If I can do a whole row in one color, then I'll switch to another color. But so far, I have been using up all of my own scraps from projects and from leftovers from making minis. So this is all my own hand-dyed yarn in various colors. If you want to do the crochet granny stripe blanket along with me and my friend Ashley, you can post your photos on Instagram and use the hashtag, what's the hashtag? The granny stripe along, hashtag granny stripe along. And it's just an informal crochet along. If you feel like joining us, you can. For mine, it's going to be about 5 feet wide, and I cast on, or I did a starting chain of 224, and I'm doing 3 double crochets, and in the starting chain it was 3 double crochets, skip 2, 3 double crochets across, and then going back you do 3 double crochets in the space between. So it's going to be you know, a nice size blanket for me to use on the couch. And at knit night last week, my friend Ashley from Comfy Cozy Knits gave me a bunch of minis to use, so I am really excited about adding those to my blanket as well. I'm using a size 3.25 millimeter hook. It's a D and it's a clover hook. Let me see if I can find it. It's in my EJ and Emma bag that I use as a project bag. There it is. It's just a clover hook, size D, or 3.25 millimeter. So the other work in progress that I have is, of course, my backshore. It's a pullover sweater. The pattern is by Alicia Plummer, and it is looking like this. So I don't know if I started another stripe since the last podcast, but I've got a good start. The speckle color is by Haven Fibre Arts, and it's called First Day of Spring. And I'm not sure that it's a regular colorway. I did purchase it a year ago. I think I just dropped a stitch. Yes, I did. That's what I get for not putting my ends on my needles. Alright. Handy dandy crochet hook to pick up that drop stitch. I don't feel particularly talkative today. I'm feeling really good, really relaxed, really chill. I've been doing yoga again. I started yoga last week. I go to a yoga class at a studio once a week, although I haven't been for a couple months. But that once a week of yoga, it just isn't enough. So I'm going to be doing my yoga every morning before I do any work for the day. so I did it again this morning, and I'll do it Monday to Friday, not on the weekends because my son's home, my husband is home on Sundays, and I just like that quiet time to myself to do yoga. So it's been really helping with energy. It's been helping with my anxiety. I just like the way my body feels when I stretch it out, and when I do some, like, it's basically like a resistance workout. You use your body weight and you hold positions and you get that quivery sensation, and it makes me feel strong. So that's why I like yoga. So this weekend was a lot of fun. I hosted my first dyeing class on Sunday, and I had 5 students for my first class, and we did hand painting. For this class, students got to pick up to 5 colors, which I pre-mixed for them, and they dyed 2 skeins of yarn each. And while we waited for the yarn to be setting, I went over some basics of like mixing dyes, dye powder safety, and they got to ask me questions about anything that they were interested in or anything they weren't sure about. And then we still had a little bit of time left to wait for the yarn to set. I was steaming it in a big pot. And so we all left the dye studio and went upstairs to my living room, and we just chatted and knit, and it was a lovely time. And everybody was really happy with the colors that they chose and the dyeing that they did. They went home with their still hot yarn. We put them in bags so that they could carry them home. And everybody got a wool wash sample and instructions to finish rinsing and washing their yarn. And I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody's pictures that hopefully they will be posting on social media, and I hope you guys will check it out. You can always search for the hashtag Alison Barnes Yarn on Instagram, and you will get to see not only my yarn, but also knitters and crocheters' finished objects. And now you will get to see some yarn that other people are dyeing when they take my dye classes. I'm going to pause the video now because I'm going to show you the yarn that I dyed during the dye class using the hand painting technique, which I don't really do anymore, but I had fun and I really like the way the yarn turned out. I'm going to try inserting a picture of the inspiration photo that I used for the yarn here. And then I'm gonna go and grab that yarn and show you what it looks like. This is the yarn that I dyed using the hand painting technique. And I used 4 colors. I used an orange, a magenta, a dark navy blue, and purple. And it looks really cool. So it's still a little bit wet, but this is a different sock yarn base that I'm testing out. It is not a merino nylon sock, it is just a wool nylon sock, so it's a little bit sturdier, and I think this would make some really cute socks. So if you would like to test this base for me, and you would like to try this skein of yarn, I'm going to give it away to one of my viewers. You need to enter in my Ravelry group. I will make a post to win this new sock yarn, this hand-painted skein of sock yarn. And you will have to answer a question, and I will draw a winner on next week's podcast. And I will ship it to you for free. So, yeah. Let me know if you want to try that. Head over to the Ravelry group, Alison Barnes Yarnies, and look for the question there and enter to win the skein. I'll post a better picture in the Ravelry group too, since the light is really washing it out here. But that's going to be for one of you guys. Okay, I think we will move on to shop update. I have 3 colors going into the shop this week. Like I said, I was mainly dyeing the Fibre subscription last week, and so I only had a little bit of time to dye a few extra skeins for the shop. I am restocking my Granite Gray colorway, which is my semi-solid dark gray on basic sock. I have a few skeins of Coral on DK, and I have a few skeins of Shaded Moss on Classic Worsted. You can see this is the color I used to knit my flax sweater out of. And as always, guys, if you see something in my shop and there aren't enough skeins, say you need a sweater's quantity or something like that, send me a message and I can do a custom order for you. If there is a color in the shop that is out of stock and you would like to see it brought back in the shop, message me and I can add that to my dye list. So the shop update is this Wednesday, April 25th at 12 noon. I'll do my best to get everything up there on time. Last week was a little bit late because of stuff. Pictures, that's what it was. I need to get a new monitor for my computer. The old one is getting really grainy looking and it makes it difficult to edit my photos. Okay, this is the spoiler alert for anybody who does not want to see the April colorway of the month for the Fibre subscription box. Avert your eyes, it's coming now. This is the April color of the month. It does not have a name yet. I am deeply in love with this color though, and it is exclusive to the Fibre subscription members for April. And this will reappear in the shop for the general public to purchase in 6 months' time. And I am most definitely sure that I will dye lots of this for the shop in 6 months because it's so pretty. So pretty. But it doesn't have a name, so do you want to leave a suggestion down below? I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to put it away. If you have been hiding your eyes from the Fibre subscription April colorway, you may come back. I think that is it for me this week, guys. I hope you guys have a really excellent week. I will be back next week, hopefully with more knitting content. I'm not planning any cast-ons right now. I would really like to make some good progress on both the shawl and my sweater. Don't forget to join the Ravelry group so that you can join the knit along with us. It goes until June the 3rd. Also, don't forget to enter to win that skein of sock yarn. I would really like to know what you think working with it. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.